Yeah, we don't need those for the actual thing. Probably on the side is better. Okay, we could go ahead and
You could go ahead.
get started.
Yeah.
Listen, first of all, thank you everybody who came out to Reverend Chambers' 80th birthday today. It's an incredible, important celebration. And so what we want to do is we wanted to have a special section where Reverend Chambers could share with her basically her life experience. And so we had prepared people in the audience 4 different questions to ask Reverend. She'll be able to answer those questions, and we're going to film this part of it. So I'm going to actually ask the person with question 1, Ms. Barnes. Do you want to go ahead and read that question?
How did you become a
Step on up.
Get the mic.
Step on up here. Come on up here.
First of all, happy birthday, Reverend Chambers.
Thank you.
I just want to let you know, I want to know, how did you become an activist when you were very young?
Well, actually, I don't. When you say how, I have an older brother. Had an older brother. He's deceased now. His name was James, but he was Malcolm X's first lieutenant, Brother James X, and that's my oldest brother. So he would come home and tell us about the struggle and what was happening in the struggle. And we said everybody would be, listening. But I told him, I said, the next time there be a demonstration, I want to go. I want to be there. And he said, oh, I don't know. I don't think Daddy going to let you go. Now, bear in mind, at this particular time, I was 14, almost 14, not quite 14, but I was married, and I had a child, and another one on the way. But I had to ask my father, and I kept worrying my father until he gave in to me, and said, all right, you can go see the demonstration. And what he told my brother, he said, just make sure that she don't get in the demonstration and don't let nothing happen to my baby, because I was the youngest girl. My brother said, okay, because basically, with my brother and my father, I really got my way most all the time. So he carried me to Durham, North Carolina, to the demonstration. And the people were out there demonstrating, and I was on the sideline with some more Muslim sisters. But I don't know, something happened, and I found myself in the middle of the demonstration. And my brother looked up and seen me, and he told some of the other Muslim brothers, go get her and bring her back over here and tell her to stay over here. They came and got me, to carry me back over there. Once again, I was in the middle of the demonstration. And they kept pulling me back, and I kept going until I started fighting them. Get off of me, I can do what I want to do. That was always my attitude anyway. But I said, I can do what I want. And so they said, we can't stop your sister. Brother, we can't get your sister to get out the demonstration. So my brother said, well, leave her there, but please protect her, because I got to carry her back to Richmond, Virginia. And that's how I got to my first demonstration, was in Durham, North Carolina, where at that particular day, I seen people get shot down. First it was all these sheriff deputies or state troopers. All of a sudden, all of them went away. Men came back in hoods on the trucks, back of the trucks, and they were shooting demonstrators down in the street. But, it didn't scare me. It just put something in me. And the anger was burning within me, you know, and I said to my brother, I said, don't tell Dad about the shooting. Don't tell Dad about the shooting because I want to go again. And my brother said, I don't think Daddy going to let you go again. But that next 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, we was in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I told my brother, I said, I'm coming. I kept telling him, you know, my daddy. So he said, well, who gonna take care of the baby? I did not tell my daddy I was pregnant again either, by the way, y'all. Even though I was married, you know, my daddy, basically I lived with my father and mother, but I lived with my family. I said, can you keep her till I get back? I had one little girl. And he said, all right, but he told my brother, he said, let her go, let her go. And I got in that demonstration, and it was like, that's the first time I got injured. That's where I found out that the state troopers or them racist deputies that the sheriff and them, they had nails embedded. They had nails embedded in the body part of the gun. And you think they just pushing people back? No, those nails, they had not only nails, they had razor blades. All of those things was in the butt of those guns. And that's what they used to hit people with. And that's when I got my first injury. And I went home and I didn't tell my father I was injured. And I was like 5 months pregnant. But I was, you know, you're very hot a little bit. So I didn't tell my father. And so my brother said, now look, you can't go to another demonstration. Not now, because you hurt. And wait till you had a baby. My baby came. I had my baby. And when my brother came home, he said, we're going to Atlanta, Georgia. Ah! Oh. Let me tell y'all something. I tore up. I was with, I left the Muslim sisters over there because they kind of, you know, they weren't fighting bad enough. But it was some sisters and brothers in Atlanta come from SCLC. And they was rough. They were fighting. And my brother said he looked for me. He said he just stood there and prayed, Lord, please let her go. Let me find my baby sister. And when he found me, he had sent not a Muslim brother, another brother in SLC, and some of them, they were looking for me. And they were all going around saying, where's Sugar? Where's Sugar? Because that's what they called me. And when I heard my name, I looked up at the man. I said, what you want? He said, wait a minute, honey. I got to carry you to your brother. I got to carry you to your brother. And it was a white Jewish fellow. He carried me to my brother so that my brother would know I was all right. And we became friends. Me and this man became friends. Michael Brand. Mike. That's Mike. Mike and I became close friends. We were like brothers and sisters from then on. You know? We were like brothers and sisters. See, yeah, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. Mike and I been together for a long, we were together a long time before he died. We were like brothers and sisters. And he would then call me up, and talk to me and tell me about, where the demonstration was going to be. And, that's how I really got in the struggle. Really got in the struggle from that day on.
Okay. The next question.
Reverend Chambers, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Can you tell us about the Black Panther Party in Baltimore?
Yes, I can tell you about the Black Panther Party in Baltimore, even though they had to send me out to the Eastern Show. Yeah, they had to send me out to the Eastern Show. But the Black Panther Party in Baltimore was very, very successful. One of the main people that I'll always look up to and respect up until one of us passed is Brother Marshall Eddie Conway. Eddie was the leader of the Black Panther Party in Baltimore, and the reason they sent me to the Eastern Show was because my father was the pastor of 2nd Street Baptist right down the street there. And well, he did not want me to, you know, here's the preacher's daughter out there, and I did raise hell, y'all. Yes, I did. I was not Reverend Chambers, by the way. I was not Reverend Chambers. But there needed to be work on the Eastern Shore. You know, so when it was pretty easy organizing here, the Panthers in Baltimore City. Black Panthers was pretty easy to get organized here in the city, and we did a lot of work here. I started with the first breakfast program that we had here in Baltimore City. I helped with that. When the Panthers was in Baltimore City, you didn't, you know, get set out. We started the first lunch program also for the children and food giveaway. And I must say, when I look at what's going on in this city now and say, the people can make a change. We don't need the bureaucrats. We did not have, and by the way, the first Black Panther Party office was down in the projects. It was in the projects. And we didn't have no drugs. We didn't have people getting shot. And we taught the children respect. The first Freedom School, right down there in Perkins. That's where the first Freedom School was. And the first, you know, development, like they like call it the development. I still said projects, and I live in them, and I'm proud of the project. Wait till I got old and moved there, but I'm proud of the project. I'm proud of Douglas Homes. I'm proud of the projects, okay? Because we can take care and do good work, and we showed people that. But we also showed, I learned in the Black Panther Party a lot about demanding respect for yourself and respecting others. You got a lot of that from the Black Panther Party. And when Bobby came to town, and I'm talking about Bobby Seale, who now I lay him out all the time, but he was pretty forceful, you know, and I got to travel a lot within the party. That was, you know, in the Black Panther Party, was my first time of going to Cuba, was because I was a Panther, right? And meeting Fidel. In the Black Panther Party, and I tell black people who now in here that we should be so grateful to Fidel Castro, because Fidel Castro did a lot for the black movement, especially the Black Panther Party. Everybody might could have got a little something from somewhere, but it was Fidel who did a lot of support for us and for the black movement in this city, but all over this country, really. But here in Baltimore, we had I mean, it's just me maybe. I didn't feel like we was as strong as some of the other chapters, okay? I didn't feel like we was, but we got respect, and we did some things, and I look at some of the programs that they copied now. The breakfast program, the lunch program, and we fought on the rent program. You know, now they talking about rent. We didn't let people get set out, by the way, you know that. We didn't let people get set out. And we were in the stores. People said, well, where did y'all get your food from? If you did business in our community, you supported us. You supported that community, okay? You had to support that community, or you weren't going to do no business in our communities. Simple as that. See, so again, I said to people, you can take care of yourself. You can do some things. Stop letting, you know, all this stuff that's happening in our city now. We need to gather our young people, gather our people. I'm talking about black, white, red, brown, whatever, and come together. And we can do some work together to make a change within all the inner cities in this country. Because it pays somebody for us to be like this we is now. You know, all these bullshitting programs that we got out here now, all the this one and the that one, that's a lot of junk. There are a lot of grants. Well, I need money to do this. We didn't have nothing. We had no money. But we got it done. And that's what we can do now. We can get it done. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Birt? Question 3.
Let me say, first of all, how deeply impressed I am.
Thank you.
You don't just know and remember history as a struggle, you embody it. And that is very commendable.
Thank you.
And by the way, I was, the time you were talking about, I was in the Troll Project at that time. I remember the pamphlets around, in East Baltimore where I live. They had a program on Valley Street where they had a breakfast program, political education and so forth. But the question is, and this is an important question, I think, because this is a very important movement. How was the welfare rights organization begun? I knew y'all had to school Martin on this a little bit, too.
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Welfare rights really started because it was hard to, men, it was hard for them to even get jobs. Some of them, you didn't have and some of them had education, some education. Just like now, they miseducate now youth. Well, they wasn't even trying to educate people then, and they were trying, get jobs and stuff like that. But anyway, it fell on women to take basically to support their families. And that's what we did. It fell on women to support their families. And so what we did was we had a college professor who was sort of sympathetic out there in the time in Detroit, George Wallace. Remember George? Some of y'all don't remember him, but he was the person that had some students who were welfare recipients at the time. And he's, talked to them. And it wasn't called welfare rights at the very beginning. It was called poverty warriors. and Marion Kramer, Annie Smart, oh God, Elsa Johnson, Frankie, all of them were fighting in different states. When it got to Baltimore, got to Maryland really, there were some women who had a group, and they decided they was going to name it Welfare Rights. And I was in Baltimore, and so they were working with the establishment their thing was get a grant for this, grant for that. And so there was another group of us who said, hell no. These are things we are entitled to. We weren't going to kiss Chambers' feet. Of course, I used to say some other stuff, y'all, but you remember I'm a minister now. I'm trying to be nice. We ain't going to kiss his feet. We ain't going to kiss Agnew. We ain't gonna do that. And they would treat you so bad when you go to social services. If you had 1,000 people, I think they gave you like $5, but you never could go over $250 a month to live off of. Imagine me. At that time, there were 19 of my children still at home. So we decided, by me being in the movement, I had already become a welfare rights member. I talked to the ladies there, and they said, well, why don't y'all start a group? And we really went to the other group first and tried to talk to them and said that they had their own agenda. And so what they didn't do, because they was in Cherry Hill and stuff too, they didn't incorporate the name. But we were working with some lawyers from the University of Maryland and some of the other places, and they help us incorporate the name, Welfare Rights. So that meant they couldn't use it. And it was a big fight one time downtown at the hotel down there, the Hyatt down there, about welfare rights. And we didn't have to prove anything because we had our own director, we had our own board, and I was president of the board, at that time. And so, they basically faded out. But we became the strongest group in the state of Maryland. Not just welfare rights, any group. We walked in right down the street there, and they shivered. Anywhere we went in the state, we went all the way to Annapolis. Everywhere there was a social service office, and we walk in there, they say, oh God, here come welfare rights. And we let them know that we were ready. We came in strong. We weren't going to back up. For one time, we kidnapped the director for the state of Maryland Department of Social Services, which was Buzzy Hellman. His real name Cosman Hellman, but everybody called him Buzzy. Right down the street there again, right down there on Gifford, 1510. Buzzy, we went up in Buzzy's office. It was like 3 days before Christmas. And some of the people ain't got their check. Some of the people hadn't gotten their check. Some of the people hadn't gotten their food stamps. And we said, Buzzy, they doing it, the workers was being nasty and talking to. We said, all right, let's go get Buzzy. We went in there, we closed the door, and we locked it. And we said, Buzzy, we need people out there it's Christmas time, and they don't have anything. And so, he wasn't, one thing I will say about him, I haven't seen him in years, but he was never one of them people that was real nasty gonna get off, right? Well, we're doing the, I said, that ain't good enough. We're doing the best we can. I said, Buzzy, that ain't good enough. Well, what you want me to do? I said, give him the checks. So, he made a call downstairs, and they said, when we come back tomorrow, we said, we ain't coming back tomorrow. We're going to spend the night with you. We locked at that door, and he thought we was playing, because by the time 8 o'clock come, he thought we was going to go home. Buzzy got on the phone, called all the workers back into the office. They worked Locklear was the head of food stamps. Locklear called his people in. Everybody was working. When they left, it was Christmas Eve, but everybody had their checks and they had their food stamps. They had their checks and they had their food stamps. And so the police was out there waiting for us, and they said, did we kidnap Buzzy? We did. But Buzzy said, oh no, it wasn't no kidnap. We was in there working, we was having a discussion. His wife Bar had to call the paper and everything, talking about Buzzy is kidnapped. But Buzzy said, no, we was in there working. We told him, say, we don't have no Christmas, Buzzy. You don't either. And I know you're a Jew and you may not celebrate, but it won't do you no good. Your children be looking for stuff too. So that's how, welfare rights were one of the strongest organizations in this country. Because let me tell y'all about when we went to Las Vegas, Nevada. We went to Las Vegas because the governor in that state had cut off all the checks. And he said the women could work in the good time houses, I call them. Well, the prostitute now. But I don't call nobody no prostitute because, all of us. I say your mama had to be a prostitute because your daddy won't get, if she didn't give your daddy nothing, you won't get nothing. I tell people that all the time. I say, come on. Your mama ain't give up nothing, your daddy wouldn't have gave her nothing. That's the deal. So, but I call them working ladies. The ladies that work. That's what I call them. And I have great respect for them. And so but they in Las Vegas and stuff, they got these houses you can just go to. It's legal. Yeah. And that's where he told the women they could go. Well, that's up to you if that you want to do that or not. And some women said no. So anyway, we were there, and the welfare rights descended on Las Vegas from all over the country. And we was in this church having a meeting. And the Ku Klux Klans was across the street, y'all. I didn't know there were Klansmen, first of all. I didn't know a whole lot of white people over there in that church across from us. And I said to everybody, why these people ain't over here with us? They said, oh, no, them the Klansmen. I said, yeah, but they ain't get no damn check if we don't get none. So everybody said, well, I ain't going. I went right on over there. And they looked at me, the Grand Dragon was up and running his mouth. He said, what you want? I said, the same damn thing you want, a check. Now I told him, I said, let me tell you something. You don't have to like me, you don't have to love me. I don't give a damn how you feel about me. It don't matter. But right now, none of us gonna get a welfare check. And he said, well, what you want us to do? I said, we stand together. And till this day, my friend that just told me they tore her house down, Annie Smart. Annie had a big picture of me and the Grand Dragon. We was on the strip together, armed on. We fought the police. When they would come up, they lock up so many people. The jails got overrun. They put that bunch out. get another bunch. We had the children running all through the casinos, and the people hit the slot. The children grabbed the money, and then we would go in there and order up food. We went in stores and had a shop in, shop out. Push, get your stuff, push your cotton, come on out. Hey, come on out. That's what we did. We carried on so bad that the strip was closed down. Till the gangsters came and told the governor, get them people them damn checks, give them the checks and let them get out. And when they gave the turnover, big the head nine, that the checks was coming out, people was getting their checks. When I left Lavana, I never forget, I got hugs from the Ku Klux Klan women. And I got hugged. Because see, I learned from that. I learned that from a priest of mine too. If you don't know me, you can't judge me. And racism is ignorance. That's all it is. That's ignorance. You understand? And they learned that we were all together in this one thing. So welfare rights have been through a lot of struggles. Like the Poor People's Campaign, and then I'm going to end with that. The Poor People's, with that, this question anyway. The Poor People's Campaign was, Dr. King had been all down there in Mississippi, Georgia, Atlanta, and everywhere, and seen how bad people was living. And so he decided on the Poor People's Campaign. But y'all, Dr. King ain't never been poor in his damn life. He never missed a meal. He had a nice place to live. He was an upper middle class black minister's son. Okay? So, and Jesse and some of the other hangers-on, they were all upper class blacks. And so Albert Taylor, who's from Chicago, was part of the campaign. He was out there with Reverend Key. Reverend Key was a Black Panther first and then became a minister. Robert Keys is his name, but we call him Reverend Key. Reverend Key told Dr. King, he said, Dr. King, they couldn't get it off the ground, right? They couldn't get it to move. He said, look, why don't you go get welfare rights? Them women know what they talking about. They can motivate some of the poor. And so he did. But it was only, 3 weeks before that, we was in front of the White House fighting about food. That food people used to get, that butter and the cheese and all that kind of stuff. We were the ones out there demonstrating, fighting about that. And we asked Dr. King to help us and didn't do it. He didn't respond to us. But he came to us when he needed help. Well, some of the women didn't want to be bothered with it. But Marilyn and Annie Smart and Diane Johnson and some of them and myself, we said, look, if this will give us a chance to make a big statement, And so we said, okay, Dr. King, we will organize for the Poor People's Campaign and build a campaign. Well, I got sent all up in the mountain. Because I always felt people were people because I could work with anybody. It was just me. I could work with anybody. So they sent me all up in the Appalachians, all down in the mountains and the hills, and them poor white people. They sent me to a place right here in Maryland. Them people had never seen no black people. A place called Claggett. They ain't never seen. I was the only. They kept looking at me like, one little boy asked me, did I get burnt or something? Because they had never seen no black person. But in West Virginia, Farquhar, West Virginia, Michelona, West Virginia, some places you don't even know exist. We would go there shooting no water. And I would go there and talk to the people about, poverty and how we could make a change. And they say they would come out, all the hills and stuff. We ascended on Washington. So it was welfare rights that helped build the first Poor People's Campaign. It was us. We went Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, California. We went as far as Hawaii to build the first Poor People's Campaign. And we would go into churches when there really was some church. Because right now, I'm a minister, but let me tell y'all, nobody was trying to get a big cathedral back then. Most of them wasn't anyway. They was really doing some work. And we would go into churches, and I have slept in barns. We have slept alongside the road. We don't slept in cars. But we got the Poor People's Campaign. The first Poor People's Campaign. And it didn't get co-op till we got in Baltimore. Now that's another story. Not till we got in Washington. I have to tell you all about it.
Thank you. Give you 1 second to drink the water. We have the fourth question, and then we're going to kind of open things up to the audience. So.
Hi, Reverend Chambers. So, what do you think was one of the most important experiences of your life?
Lord, 80 years. It takes a lot of experiences. A lot of experiences. But when I talk about my life, when I think back over my life, from a young child and becoming a mother, I was attacked and raped. And so by the time I was 12 years old, I had my first daughter, who is now 67 years old. And me and her laugh about it now. People used to think we were sisters. We were sisters. And, when I looked at her at my birthday, on my birthday, 80 years, I thank God. See, God can take something even bad and make it good. And make it good. When I look around and see all the grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren and great-great, I'm a grandmother 4 times over. And I'm still here. And I'm still kicking. And I'm still fighting. Those are the experiences that I think of, some of the greatest experiences in my life, when I can hold an infant in my arm and they say, Grandma, this your great-great-grandchild. I feel so good about that, I feel so good that I can hold that baby. But I tell people, my life, my father meant so much to me in my life. I had a priest that was like a father to me, Father Witchland, who meant so much to me in my life. Michael meant so much to me in my life. He was like a brother. It has been like God has surrounded me. And I people say, you don't have men and women for friends. God knows I don't. But I got a lot of men. I got a lot of men that, for friends, that has always shielded me and protected me. Black, white, Hispanic, all kinds of men have been in my life that has been like brothers and fathers to me. They have been close to me because when I told my brother when we were talking, and I said, the closest thing I had to a brother was Mike. My mother had a whole lot of boys, but I bet you none of them, and I love my brother James, who would have gave his life for me, and so would Michael. That was just how close we were. All through the movement, that's how close we were. If Mike was sick, laid on his sick bed, and the housing authority decided they wanted to attack me. This man laying in a nursing home. But you know what? He got on the phone in the nursing home. And he was fighting in the nursing home. He got his son to come get him up out the nursing home. When I got down to the courthouse, Michael was there. He was there. And he was dying. But he was there. So my experience continued to go on and on because I got godchildren that have grown up and they still with me. And they, and I got my children. And when it's like now, if you say Annie and don't say Ian, even my children tell you, well, you better go ask Ian, maybe she'll do it. You ask Ian, she'll do it. Even the man that I married to, he said, Ian, can you tell Mama dear so-and-so? He said, what you tell? I mean, everybody, that's just the way they feel. That's how close it is. My daughter, Deanna, no matter what, that's my child. My daughter, in the middle of the night, me and her used to go places. We live right over there. Me and Deanna get up in the middle of the night, we go do, I said, I got to go do something. Okay, Mom, I'm with you. Everybody, Lord, let me sleep. Let me rest. No matter if I was going down there to City Hall, Deanna be right with her mama. No matter what. My daughter Geraldine said, y'all gonna get locked up. Deanna said, so what? We get locked up. Never been locked up in her life. Never been. But she would hang with her mama. And so my life continued. There is no one specific experience in my life because I'm 80 years old. But I just come back from New Orleans and I had a good time. And I'm planning on going some more places. And the fact that God keeping me here to fight this fight. And when I see young people like y'all out there still in the fight, see, that's an experience. That's a wonderful thing when I see that. When I see the young people standing up, fighting back, I like that. I like that. That is my thing. That is me. That means that we making change within a society that does not care about people. That does not care about people. And I want to say this on tape so everybody can hear. We screaming this, ain't we? Because somebody got upset with me because I said something about Obama. I said he do a damn thing, and I'm saying it again. He did not one damn thing for poor, working class people. We still fighting for health care. We're still fighting for housing, which, by the way, was his thing to close down and sell all the public housing, okay? So don't come telling me, I ain't got nothing to do with his mama and daddy, that, his mama got him by a black man. And I don't care about them. People will talk about him. He's multiracial. Hell, all of us racist, you know. But I don't, you know, my thing to people is open your eyes. See what's around you. See what's happening in your life. And then you can fight. Don't just sit and talk. You got to get up and move. If you can't get out your house, if you can't get, you know, to where you need to be, there's something you can do. You make a telephone call. Do all kinds of things. That's what I tell. Oh, I'm so old now. And I say nothing wrong with you. Get a damn scooter and roll along. You get a walker, something, and go, you know? Because if we don't fight this society at this time, look at the plight of our babies. Look at the plight of our people all over this country. And look at the people in the world that's fighting back. That's what we have to do. So those are my experiences, and thank God I'm going to get plenty more.
Thank you, Reverend. We're going to end this part of the live stream. But if anybody, first of all, there's plenty of food over there. Please get a plate of food.